Hi guys. Alright, so we're going to do a build update for the Crossbow Monk. I did swap over to a crit setup, and we'll go over everything we've changed. And now running, I'm still only on my 2-second ascendancies. And anyways, so let's just jump into the map I have ready here, and we got a Wisp. So there's a lot of things that I've changed and I'm trying out, and we'll go over those. But basically, the TLDR is we got crit, and then I got one of these companion guys that has the always shocks mod. So now basically I don't have to use my Stormcaller arrow for a single target because he's going to be shocking pretty much all the time. And doing a couple of testing some other things out on the passive tree as well. But yeah. Alright, so there's like a Wisp rare. They take a long time if you're using just Galvanic shards. Anyways, so gear is kind of a mess right now. Also trying out the Eternal Youth. So I can, basically I notice that my ES is always, not always, but most of the time it's not even active, right? Because it gets drained, the recharge time is 4 seconds, and a lot of times you just don't get that time to actually recharge it. So anyways, trying out Eternal Youth, and I think this will be a lot better once you do get more energy shield. Like right now only at 1000, but you know, it's because I have bad gear. But eventually we'll get like 3000, 4000 ES, and then this is going to be pretty insane, I think, when we get some, you know, increased life recovery rate and that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's go kill the boss off so we can see the new setup in action, I guess. Okay, so this guy, it's a companion, and you can find them with a lot of cool mods. Mine isn't really even ideal, but you want one that has the Always Shocks mod on it. I guess it's not really important. You can still use the Stormcaller arrow, and it's actually better because you get more shock. I was up to like 70% increased shock with my Stormcaller arrow setup, and now down to 30. But I could go a little bit higher if I use my mark setup, but I'm testing a lot of things out, so I don't really have room for that. But the good thing about this pet is he allows us to run on the offhand the Effigy of Cruelty, which gives 5 stacks of critical weakness with spells when they crit. So what we can do is we can put down Orb of Storms only and have the Orb of Storm only set to use this weapon. And then when we swap back, wait, let's put them down. And when we swap back, when these zap, they're going to be applying the critical weakness, right? So we can still get it, and you know it's a little bit of a hassle, but I mean, just put them down before the boss spawns in, and then when the boss spawns in, hopefully he gets a shock, and yeah, now he's shocked, and then he just kind of like dies, right? So, anyways, it's pretty cool. Sometimes if this guy dies, it's a little bit awkward because you have to wait for him to come back. But you want one ideally that is ranged, I would say, or you know, has a very fast attack. This guy's a ranged attack, so it's pretty good. And then you can get ones with like haste aura and a lot of other cool things. So it is kind of fun. It's like playing like Pokemon or whatever, right? And find your guy. But anyway, so let's go over the character. Go back to the hideout. Um, I don't know if I will like this setup over the Choir of the Storm. I'm not really sure, but at the moment, I don't even have enough int to run Choir of the Storm. So, anyways, but these guys are pretty cool, the companions. Anyways, so let's take a look at the character. First of all, let's take a look at some of the skills. So, right, upgraded to a 5 link on shock burst rounds and at about 15,000 DPS on the projectiles, and the pulses are already at like 87,000. Okay, and then I did, for whatever some reason, I have a 6 link galvanic shards because I just like corrupted my 5 links, and the galvanic shards hit the 6 link, so it's kind of nice. And this DPS actually pretty decent. It could be better. It's only like 40,000 on the beams. And let's see. So right now I'm using Fresh Clip, Concentrate Effect, Elemental Focus, Primal Armament. I'm still not even sure if this is fixed or not. Then for Galvanic, we use Long Shot, Fork, Lightning Infusion, Mobility, and Martial Tempo. And then I have a Tame Beast here because I want to try to capture a better version of this guy. And then Orb of Storms, and I have Overabundance and Pinpoint Critical, so it is critting, you know, often because we need this to crit to get the stacks. It only needs to crit like 2 to 4 times or so. And I'm not sure what happened to critical weakness because it used to be 20 stacks, but now it only seems to go to 10, or I'm not really sure what's happening. I have to test it a little bit more. But we do need to crit, and right now the crit chance for this, when we go over to the wand, um, oh, it doesn't change. It's 48%. Okay, so, you know, it's decent enough to get. You can see the stacks were up, you know, very consistently, so. Okay, so there's that. And then we have our emergency reload with premeditation and murderous intent. Blink on the offhand only with ingenuity, second wind, and arcane tempo. And then for the herald, right now, just enervate, ambush, and that's about it. You could put something else in here. Right now, it's not even doing that much damage. We have Wind Dancer here with precision, and then my companion here, the Venomous Crab Matriarch. Anyways, so yeah, and for the links, I'm using the lasting shock, so his shocks last longer. And then the lightning exposure, although I don't really need this actually, because it's only applying to about 40% or so, or a little bit less. Like 35% of my damage is not critting. So there's that. Might not even need this, and then overcharge, so we get some bigger shocks. Okay, so as for the gear, not really much has changed. I still haven't changed my crossbow. I need to change the runes from the physical damage to the crit damage runes. It's like another 5% DPS, but I haven't done that yet, so I'll get around to doing that. And as for the gear, it's pretty much exactly the same, but I do want to sort of get better bases. These bases are all kind of low-level bases, right? You know, basically need to get a pure energy shield helmet, so I can go to the subterfuge mask and get a lot of evasion and energy shield that way. And then I do want to keep the body armor as a evasion energy shield base, and then I'll probably have the gloves and boots pure energy shield bases. And then as for the belt, I'm not really sure which belt I want to use. Ingenuity might be the play, or we get a belt with a lot of stats and a lot of flask life recovery rate. So if we end up using the Eternal Youth keystone, then we want to get a lot of flask life recovery rate, because that's going to apply then to our energy shield. Anyways, my flask is really bad, but yeah, that's the current situation. Okay, so also, yeah, my rings are okay, I would say. You know, just some lightning damage resistance, and then the amulet is still what I was using from like day one. Alright, so passive tree, for the crit passive tree, basically doesn't really change that much, and I'll have POBs for this. I think there already is a POB of this crit version up. The one with the Stormcaller arrow set up is already up on Mobalytics. Go check that out. And then the one I'm using now for this companion is basically the same, exactly the same, except you just don't need to actually do all the weapon swap stuff. I mean, you can do some stuff. I'm trying some stuff out with the companion, but this is only active when my wand is out, which is like never. So, you know, I don't know. You could do some other stuff. Maybe go into cooldown recovery, so the teleport is off cooldown faster and that kind of stuff. But anyways, so basically, yeah, you just don't need to do any of the weapon swap trees, but you can kind of, you know, do whatever you want. So we just grab all the crit stuff, and right now I'm moving into more defensive stuff, getting more evasion, energy shield, and that kind of stuff here. Everything here is the same. I've started removing some of these attributes as I don't need them anymore, and putting them into other things. Okay, but yeah, that is the passive tree. And yeah, so I think we talk a little bit about this guy. So there's a couple of cool things you can do. So first, obviously, we need the hits always shock. And then probably second one is going to be the haste aura. And then there is some other cool mods we can get. And I think there's like, this guy actually has energy shield aura. So that's actually kind of cool, but it's not always active. And I'm not really sure which other one we would want, but I think some defensive mod for this guy would be good. This guy has the magma barrier too, which is kind of funny. It's actually so big, sometimes hard to see. Yeah. Anyways, I think once, I did want to make the actual like full build guide for the build, but I'm gonna wait until I get over to the red maps, or like not red maps, but like T15 maps. Let's just see. Right now, I'm only on, the highest one I have is this one here, tier 13. So pretty soon I'll get the T16 maps, and then we can go do the full actual build guide. And a lot of people asking about the Witchhunter and the Amazon, and pretty much this entire setup works on Amazon as well. And maybe I'll try to make some POBs for that. And as for Witchhunter 2, probably will work. Did work last league. I think Witchhunter is going to be a little bit more defensive because you get the source reward, right? And then Amazon getting the base crit is pretty good, but we can go look in POB with the winner stacks and basically not even that much crit scaling aside from the passive tree. Like I don't have any crit on my gear pretty much, and like only one jewel I think with crit damage bonus. So, and you can see with Winter we're already almost at like 70% crit chance. So the Amazon would give quite a bit more crit, but then again at the same time, so let's do like this is the reason why I want it to be monk. So you can see our full DPS is about 500,000. This is the Winter crit, by the way. So let's just say Amazon gave us 100% crit, right? So that's a pretty big DPS increase, 760,000 from 500,000. But then Monk also does have the Unbound, right? And it's exactly the same thing. But I guess the Amazon one is up all the time, so there's that. But right now, one thing Monk also does have is this critical hits ignore monster elemental resistances, and if we didn't have this, our DPS would be pretty sad. I would say, see, about 40% of our damage is just kind of gone because we don't have the, we're not ignoring the boss elemental resistances. And I guess you can get around with that with the penetration or other things, but that means you have to spend extra points on the passive tree, and I don't know. That's the main reason why, and also because of the spirit setup. So I think that's kind of why I chose Monk. And I'm pretty sure Amazon is going to be good as well, because I think one cool interaction she has is, we go swap over real quick, is the leech, right? So life leech recovers based on your elemental damage as well as your physical damage. And one of the big problems was that with leech is that pretty much you just don't get a lot of leech because you're barely doing any phys damage, right? But if we have a lot of elemental damage, so that means that we can get a lot of leech based on our lightning damage. And then there's a pair of gloves. I wonder if we can find them here. Yeah, so this one, the Essentia Sanguis. So this converts life leech into energy shield leech. Anyways, so there's a lot of cool things you can do on Amazon. Yeah, that's kind of the reasons why I chose Monk, and we'll just kind of finish this trade, and it's pretty much going to be the end of the video, guys. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.